let's do a speed test on this, and later on in the video I'm going to be comparing this to the Ninebot Max G30. We are on sport mode, full charge. Oop. Good torque initially. And yeah, that's about it. It says we're going 25 kilometers on the display, but as you can see clearly, the top speed is actually only 22 and 23 kilometers an hour. To be honest, first impressions on the speed, very disappointing. You might not be able to hear this on camera. Can you hear that? Yeah, I hope you can, because that is actually the 500 watt geared motor on this. It's very, you know, I feel like people are looking at me or something. You can hear it there, like in a quiet area like this. The suspension is brilliant. It's really nice design. It's smooth and it's very, very quiet. Really nice. Handling is very good. 10-inch pneumatic tubeless, apparently self-healing tires. So let me talk about the speed actually on this for a second. Now, on their website, on the Navee website that is, it says that the speed on this electric scooter in Europe is capped at 25 kilometers an hour. However, it says anywhere outside of Europe like America, it can go up to 32 kilometers an hour. I reached out to Navee days ago. They didn't even reply. I said to him, how do you increase the speed on this? Like, can you change the location? By the way, there is a Show Me app for this, because this company is merging with Show Me, which is great to see. So hopefully good things to come in the future. But the speed, it's just too little, to be honest. And an annoying thing about this is there is side caps covering the wheels, the wheel nuts and everything else, and they are rattling, making a hell of a lot of noise. We'll have a look at the stem in a few minutes. Of course, there is good points. Okay, I don't want to be bashing the scooter, but I am just being honest. There is apparently a claimed range of 60 kilometers on this. The deck is very big. It's actually bigger in person. So when you see this on videos, you won't realize how actually big the deck is until you actually see it up in person. The color is very good. That noise is just so annoying. I think this electric scooter initially, long distances, it's probably good because it has a really big capacity battery. But I think if you want to get somewhere fast, this is not the electric scooter to do it in. First impressions are not good, to be completely honest. Now, of course, do need to keep in mind, this scooter is actually coming in at a great price. It's coming in at about 600 euros. It's very comfortable, but extremely noisy at the same time. So to cut long story short, after playing around with the Show Me app, I cannot get the speed to increase even with changing your location outside of Europe. And trust me, I tried for a long time with that app, and the speed is just there at 25 kilometers, even after unpairing the scooter, after doing as much as possible, and the company has not replied. So I just cannot get it to go any faster. Of course, I understand regulations, but come on. Even if you had private land, you should be able to unlock the speed to have a bit more fun on private land where there's no regulations. You can take a closer look at it. Back mudguard is really solidly built. Back supports are made out of metal. The disc brake, only one pad actually moves, which is the one on the outside. The one on the inside is static, so it's not a dual pad control. So it means when you go to adjust this, you'd have to adjust the back pad manually. Of course, you have the motor there. You have your hook here. Now the frame itself is actually built, it's extremely rock solid. And you also have this folding mechanism here. To fold it, you simply just pull up this latch. Then you have another safety feature here. This is probably one of the best designs I've seen. Pretty simple. Pop it up. Very good design. I wish a lot of scooters would have kind of this design. Even the Show Me scooter should have this design. You have your reflector at the front. Front mud guard is quite good. So I'd say when it rains and stuff like that, you should be kept reasonably dry. These are the side caps here that are plastic. Of course they're plastic, but they are rattling when I'm riding the electric scooter. Clear design, kind of a nice minimalistic design. You also have the charging port here, not magnetic, but you know, the position of it isn't too bad. Reflectors here. Kickstand is kind of nice and hidden away, but it's way too short. Look how far the scooter's tilting. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Coming up on top, brake lever, bell. You use that part obviously to hook the scooter. On the back here to lift it. Weight isn't too bad also on this. The display is huge in person. Very easy. Thumb throttle here. Grips are not too bad, do the job. Change your modes using the on-off button. So it's a really nice minimalistic, sturdy frame. Faults initially, kickstand is way too short. Motor is extremely noisy. Side caps on the front and the rear are rattling too much, which is kind of annoying. Good points is of course that front folding mechanism is rock solid, and the stem itself is extremely impressive. Build quality is brilliant, but I think changing a few minor things. Now of course that rear motor is not going to be able to be changed. Said to have a good IP rating. I think they say going down steps nice and comfortable. IPX5, rock solid at the front. Really nice to see. There is a bit of a hill here, but of course we don't have off-road tires or any sort of knobby tire, so we can't really. I don't know, let's try. Come on. Oh, nice. Whoa, I wasn't expecting that at all. That was impressive. Slipping at the back there. I didn't expect that. Whoa, okay. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Oh, keep going, keep going. Here we go, here we go. I don't actually know what degree that hill is. You may as well say it's about 10 degrees, that's all it is. I wonder actually what this scooter would be like with kind of knobby off-road tires, because the suspension is really nice on it. I think if you had a small off-road area where I guess there was nothing too harsh, too high or too crazy, and if you had kind of a off-road tire on this, I think it would be actually quite fun to actually go around on, because you have the torque there. I think from what I've seen so far, let's go up a hill. Come on, come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice. Here we go. I think as well, with the IPX5 rating, I know I always give out about ratings on electric scooters. That's because I wish they could improve their IP rating, because they really can. The problem comes with warranties and standing up against the warranties. That's the issue there. To be completely honest, I think if you live in a city area and you want to get to work, A to B, and you don't need to go too fast, it's the perfect scooter for that because of the price, comfort, range. The thing that lets us down is speed, that really noisy motor, and the clacking from the side caps that are covering the nuts for the wheels and the frame. But it is fun. I think the price is quite generous. But of course, it is time to compare this to the Ninebot Max G30. Alright, let's talk about it a bit more. The Ninebot Max, it has a 350 watt rear motor. By the way, I did review that. Feel free to have a look at that review if you want. And you can actually, well, back then with the first generation of the G30s, I think it was, you could actually change the firmware on it, or I think it was the controller, and you could get speeds of up to 28 to 30 kilometers an hour. Fantastic, it really was. And it had a really good IP rating, similar to this. Problem on this electric scooter is that, as you saw, it's only going about 22, 23 kilometers an hour. And I wish it just went to 25, to be completely honest. But it doesn't, and I can't change it. The company hasn't responded to me. So, from a speed point of view, I think the Ninebot Max would actually get the upper hand. And yeah, so I'd definitely go with the Ninebot Max if you're after the most speed possible. Folding mechanism in this is quite similar to the Ninebot Max G30. So I think that, you know, again, you can't really compare there because the frames are both sturdy, the folding mechanisms are both sturdy. So again, they're both equal in that department. Now, I guess where things change a little bit different is actually the suspension. Suspension on this one is quiet as a mouse. And you don't get suspension on the Ninebot Max G30. So I think from a comfort standpoint, this has the upper hand. Range, claimed range is quite similar on both. So again, they're both equal there. They both have 10-inch pneumatic tubeless tires. Again, you can't really compare there because the tires are the exact same. So my verdict on both of these electric scooters in a comparison state, I think they're kind of for two different people. I think if you're after more comfort and if you don't want to add suspension, because you can add suspension on the Ninebot Max G30, you can add I'll talk about prices now in a second. You can add the monorim suspension on the Ninebot Max models, front suspension and rear suspension on them. Plus you can get a part that goes around the stem area, the folding mechanism that reinforces it. You can get suspension for that, but they are quite expensive. From a comfort standpoint, I think if you're after that type of thing, you don't want to add anything, add any upgrades, and if you don't really care about speed, go with the S65. I think if you're looking for something where you can potentially modify the speed past the 25 kilometers up to maybe 28 to 30, I'm not sure if you can do that on the latest generation of the Ninebot Max G30 models, but I think if you're after a bit more speed, go with that one. But here's where the big difference is. In saying every single thing right there, price wise, this is only €600. The Ninebot Maxes I saw recently were fetching 800 to 900 euros, which is, I didn't realise how expensive they were because they were cheap for a while from what I understand, but the prices have seemed to have gone up quite high on the Ninebot Max models. So I think if you're a bit more lower on cash, but if you want more comfort but less speed, go with this. I think if you have a bit more cash and you like to modify things and you can potentially make the speed go even more faster, go with the Ninebot Max. In saying everything, can't really complain about this. I wish the motor was more quiet. I wish the speed was a little bit better. And I wish those side caps would stop rattling the hell out of the electric scooter. But you can't really change those things. It's the way the scooter is built currently. Maybe another generation of the Navee brand will be a bit different, I'm not sure. But if you have enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, watch my Ninebot Max review. Feel free to click on that right now, and I'll talk to you in the next video.